Alright folks, as usual, thank you very much for watching my video. Today I'm going to finally do a very long overdue review of the Schutztruppe cartridge belts. Now, these belts were issued from around 1894 till I think during into World War I, and there were actually 4 different models of these. This book here, the Verlag German colonial troops, one of my first books, if not my first book, one of my favorite books, shows you a picture of 3 of the models. The Schiffer books on the same topic, but only cost about $70. It's less pictures than this one. That one shows you the 4th model, which is actually the one that was used in Mexico. For those of you who have seen my videos on equipment of that kind of stuff, you'll know that I ranted about seeing that particular type of cartridge belt in every movie made in the US and in Mexico regarding the Mexican Revolution of 1910-1920. So basically Hollywood was full of crap, because that cartridge belt did not even show up in any of my period books, actual photography and stuff like that. And that one was actually used in during the 1940s in Mexico. I'll show you that one there because I did make one. And in any case, I made one of these models. I'm going to show you that as well. And I have an original one, so I'm going to show you that as well. So let's begin here with the first model, which was a straight belt that had 12 pouches. The shoulder straps were just actually riveted on. They were not very flexible, I guess you can say. And this is a canteen carrier, the ring, and here is the frog. Now you'll notice that they have loops over the flaps here of the belt, of the pouches, and kind of like a little bit of a design there, got a little fancy there for you. In this particular model, you'll see that the flaps go over, actually the back and the I guess you could call it the flap, this part here is actually one piece. And I guess people made them differently, so you can see it's got rivets in there, and I'll show you what I mean by people made them differently. Now this here is the model number 2. As you can see in this one, they left a space out here and here for the bayonet frog, so that gives them more room from the handle or the pommel of the bayonet. And here you have more room for the canteen to flop around. It still has 12 pouches, but the 2 extra pouches are now on the shoulder straps, like this guy's wearing here. I'm sure many of you have seen this picture. Another thing that changed besides the pouches locations is that the straps were all now in a system of being able to like swivel. They weren't riveted on to the leather itself. It was able to swivel. Now this here is rough side in, so this part here is a very smooth, the smooth side of the leather. And if you saw my video on the Bedouin cartridge belt, they did 2 layers of leather to make both sides look nice and smooth and fancy. But these guys here looks like they did it, they just reversed it, and inside the pouches here is where the rough side is. So that's that. Now the model number 3, which let's see, this is not model number 3, it's number 2. Obviously the model number 3, the only real difference is that it actually had snaps right here. That's the only real difference between model number 3 and number 2. You can see a real nice picture right here. Now these are going to be spring snaps. I believe they're going to be 16 millimeter, and they still use spring snaps nowadays. It's just not really super popular because they're not super strong. And so from 1894, 1908, some of these models. The third model was around World War One, and you'll actually see these if you look up any Spanish Civil War stuff. You'll see these types of cartridge belts. So I guess they made their way over there as well. Now the fourth model, as I said, the Schiffer book actually covers the fourth model, and I'm going to show you that in just a minute. But here is my original, and one of the things that I did wrong, because I was just going by pictures before I bought that book, I may have made mine a little bit too fancy, but you know, they kind of look the same. These are more basic, a little bit more simple, I guess, or maybe they're more accurate. I don't know, you tell me. But I made the mistake of making this for only one stripper clip, which of course was dumb, because these actually are made for two. And as you know, for the Germans, the 1908 triple pouch actually carried three in each one, and so it was definitely a big mistake on my part. But I was going by pictures, you know, and no picture ever talked about how many stripper clips were in there. In any case, this is the one I made many years ago, many years, about 11 years ago, and as you can see, it's pretty nice. I mean, I consider it pretty nice. I think I might have hand stitched all of this. Now, my version here is just like you see in the book, where this is all one piece. Okay, it's all one piece right here, like in the book. However, this original one that I have is not. It is a much more simple version, where you see the rough side, it's in the back, smooth side in the front, and they just sewed on the belt flap, or the cartridge pocket flaps. Okay, so that's that. Also, when it came to the swivel, I don't know how they did it, but what I did was, I'm using, where the heck did I do it? Anyway, I'm using something like that you use for slings of the time period, which is, this is my Mannlicher, but these things here that you would see in a rifle sling, right? I'm sure many of you have seen these. There's a whole bunch of different sizes of those things, but this is what they look like. Okay, so that's what I use for the swivel part. Now let's take a look at that fourth model. Now the fourth model is this one here. This loops in the front, or this belts in the front, and in the Mexican movies primarily they use this one. There's another model that they use in the movies, but again, like I said, that's all completely false and it's fake. The American movies of the Revolution also were using these, and they were using the other ones. As you can see, I made this version here, and otherwise pouch pockets, or pouches on the shoulder straps as well. And I made the mistake because I didn't know that they were using, when I made this one, I didn't know that they were using snaps. I just basically, I did something more permanent, which is not correct, but you know, it's looked good, and unfortunately it turns out that I've got some nice pictures of me wearing this stuff, but it was turned out to be totally false. Here's the bayonet, frog, and I didn't even put the ring for the canteen. But in any case, so this would be in the front, and then the ammunition would be around the back side, which is kind of annoying. And the same thing, the thing about this one here, and the Schutztruppe, is that it actually belt loops around the back, because you can see this guy here has all his ammunition in the front, and that's a better idea than even this one here. However, putting it on having the loop, the buckle on the back, I can tell you from experience, what a pain in the ass, man, what a pain in the ass. But you know, that just kind of shows the time period of them developing this kind of stuff. They got away from this, and they went through the 3 pouches really. Now, this equipment here for the Schutztruppe, this was really primarily only used in Western Africa, or West Colonial Germany, which is now the country of Namibia. And it was not seen or used in East Africa for the famous Von Lettow resistance that lasted throughout the end of the war. Now, I've also seen some pictures of captioned Cameroon or Togoland, the other German colonial territories, and I've also seen black troops, African troops, wearing this whole uniform, which is not a typical Askari style of uniform, but there were some changes. But basically, this was used for the German colonial, the West African, and their piping on their uniforms would be blue, and Von Lettow on the east would be white. They also had, the other ones were red, and I believe yellow was the other one, the other 2 colors. But in any case, I built this one here literally in 24 hours, in one day. Did not sleep. I was on crack or something. But anyway, I've had it for over 11 years, and it came out great, still in great condition. And hopefully that if you have any questions, maybe you want some dimensions, you want to build your own, because it's completely doable. You can go this route, which is a bit more difficult, or you can go the much more simpler route, which is, you know, to add the flap later on. But in any case, if you have any questions, please feel free to send me a text or post something on this video, and hope that you like this video. Take care.